Hello, hello. Today is March 7th, 2023, and you know the deal. I hope you don't hear my dog barking in the background, but if you do, I'm sorry. He's being annoying right now. And so the card of the day, the word of the day is dance. Dance, dance, dance. I have danced for 2 decades. And dancing has liberated me from so many things. And I was thinking, you know what? I need to go back and enroll in this dancing class so I can be even a better dancer. Also, dancing just really connects you with the rhythm of the universe. It's like tuning into a frequency and moving your body with it. And this opens up like so much creative power and energy. And, you could just basically turn on like music and dance and think about your manifestation. Think about like what you're wanting to manifest and and dance while you're dancing. Get into the feelings of joy, of happiness, of excitement, and feel that feeling while you're dancing. And that vibration, that feeling, that visual really allows your manifestations to happen quicker. You will magnetize them to you easily, effortlessly, and in the quickest way possible. And you don't have to go outside of your comfort zone to manifest what you want, meaning you can be just doing what you do every day, going to work, whatever you do. Like, I go to the gym. Like, there are certain things that I do during the day that put me in contact with the outside world. And even it could come through like your roommates, your friends, your partner, your spouse, your children, complete stranger. So when you put yourself in the dance zone, you're almost like in a trance. Your subconscious mind opens up and is very receptive to vibration and frequency. And in that, you speed up your manifestation. It's just that, like, you've got to do it consistently. You can't just do it once. It's got to be like a habit, a part of your life, a discipline, if you will. And so as this word came back, I was like, okay, I've got to get back to dancing, and I've got to take a class, find a place where I can take a class to learn more moves and start dancing again, because that is how I get into the zone of manifesting very quickly and instantly, because it's such a high vibration. So your homework is to maybe have a practice of dancing and visualizing what you want to manifest, but you have to remain consistent and until that manifestation occurs, and try to do something like small, like, you know, something that's not a big deal, like a cup of coffee, or I don't know, like, I don't know what's easy for you to manifest. Ease is relative to everyone. And, or someone paying for your meal, like, you imagine that and you're dancing and you're like, oh my God, somebody bought me dinner. Like, to me, that's like a no-brainer. Like that's kind of like an easy manifestation for me. Like, but let's say like if I wanted to manifest a brand new house, well, I wouldn't say that. Like all manifestations are equal, to be honest with you, because I've manifested that. They're all equal. It's just that you set the conditions. Like you get to set the conditions on how you want that manifestation. And so, or boundaries, what are the conditions? Well, I want it to look like this. I want it to come to me through the path of least resistance, where there's like no like expectations. If somebody's going to buy me dinner, they don't expect me to, it's like free loving, like a true act of kindness and genuine uh giving. So like it's kind of like when I make a donation, for example, I have no expectations that that center or that business or that charity is going to give me something back in return. So generally when I'm manifesting, I manifest without attachment. I guess that's the word that I was looking for. Without attachment, somebody wanting something in return, it actually be a true heart desire that they want to bless you with that. And actually, like a lot of my manifestations are like that because attachment muddies the giving. It's not unconditionally giving someone something just because you want to and you can. And that's my favorite way of receiving and giving. So if I give something, like if I give money to someone, I have no expectations. Like if I buy them something, I have no expectations that they buy me some, they don't even have to get me a gift. They don't have to give me money back. Like it's just like when I give, I just give knowing that it does never need to be returned to me from that person, because the whole thing with giving is when you give, the universe will bless you through another person. But the clearer you're giving or the cleaner you receive the manifestation, like if somebody gives you extra money, like the cleaner the source that gave you that, the higher the vibration for you to manifest, because the energy has like for high frequency vibration, like the frequency that you carry within your body and how you move really affects your giving and like how you give and how you receive. So if you're receiving money from like your job and your boss is oppressive, like that affects your energy. But if you work for a boss who like appreciates you and like gives you money and like and they don't really I don't know, like you don't have a negative vibe towards them. I mean, I've never really had a boss, but I've always been my own boss. And so, but I hope you're getting the message. Like when you give with no attachment and watch your source of giving. If someone is giving you something so they can control you or have power over you, pay attention to that too, because true unconditional giving from the universe is without conditions. Like that is the highest level of consciousness if you're going to give or receive. And anything other than that is a lower vibration. And that affects your clarity, your ability to see things, your intuition, your knowing, because it clouds your energy. I know that sounds kind of deep, and I hope like that point got across, is just like being conscious of that. And then if somebody is like treating you a certain way because they're giving you something, you need to like have boundaries and trust your intuition and trust your instincts and trust your discernment. And if you need to speak out about it, I would encourage you to do that, because when you speak out about it, you actually call that person out on it. And basically, I have manifested things from a pure place with willing people who actually want to serve from that place. And what happens is those other people who want to give so they can like hook you in or control you or whatever it is, like their agenda is like they kind of fall to the wayside, and they uh work with other people. Like they'll find people who like agree to their terms. And so like there's standards, like from my perspective, of receiving and giving. And I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not like, but there is like a verse in the Bible that just came to my mind, and I thought I would share it. And it says like, God loves a cheerful giver. There's a reason for that. So when you buy something, really buy it from a cheerful place of thanksgiving. And excuse me, in the Middle Eastern culture, they say if a person is sneezing, they told the truth. And so, but yeah, so like, really, even when you're buying things or selling things, it's like, be in that vibration of detachment, not attached to what you're giving or what you're receiving. It's like a pure place. It's like, I want to give you this because I love you. People give, you know, gifts. It could be gifts, it could be money. But the bottom line is this: is it coming from a place of control, or is it coming from a place of fear? And I guess that's really, when you're giving someone, are you giving it to them from a place of love, genuine love? And I'm not saying that this is easy, but it's simple and it takes practice. And the more you do it, the more you become clear about like the choices that you're making. And so like you will, and you're not going to be perfect. None of us are perfect. We're just getting like better all the time. And so it's just becoming conscious of what, when you're giving and receiving, are you giving because you have an agenda, or do you truly actually want to give someone something from the bottom of your heart because you love them and not because you have an expectation in return, essentially. And I mean, for a long time, if I did not feel somebody wanted to give me something without attachment or expectation, I wouldn't even accept it from them, because I valued what I know to be true about how the universe works, and that we are just borrowing. Everything that we have is just borrowed. Like we will all leave here one day, and we're not taking none of this stuff with us. And so with what I have and what I'm borrowing, and the universe is allowing me to borrow, my material assets, my money, how will I treat this borrowed material realm? Everything is borrowed. We don't own anything. It's an illusion like that we own stuff. Yeah, we own it. Like we own it while we're in a body and we're living here on planet Earth. But in essence, it's all a loan from the universe. And so we are stewards, if you will. And how do we treat the people in our lives in using our material wealth? How do we dispense it? What kind of attitude do we have when we dispense it? And so that's just something personal that I learned, and it has paid dividends immensely throughout my life, and in the way that I have been able to manifest. And with that, I want to bring you today's card. So you guys have already seen this a few days ago, Knight of Wands. This came up and I was like, wait a minute, this card came up. And then I got, you need to pick another card. And so like, I was like, okay. So the second card that I picked, so basically this is still valid because there's a sequence happening. Of course, I have not connected all the dots of these cards, which one day I will, like, because I feel like the cards tell a story. And I don't even know how many cards we have been through yet, but you know, I don't know, maybe I'll do it at some point, like soon, because basically these cards are telling a story, and it's like they're the dots. They're like, remember connecting the dots when you were a kid? I loved connecting the dots because like it painted a picture, and if you did the dots correctly, you got a picture of that. I don't know, like a candle or a heart, or you know, whatever it was, a star. And so it was saying this is still active, like you need to do this. And then I was like, okay, well, what is that? Like, I got that. And then when I pulled the second card, this is what I got. So let me put it upright. This is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess basically, oh my God, did you guys hear that noise? I think it was snow that just fell off my house. Oh my God. But I'm sure it's okay. It just like, I feel like it just slid down. Anyways, back to the card. So basically, the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is basically an introspection card. And so basically, this is all about looking within instead of looking outside of yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting your discernment, trusting your knowing. And so so this is, you know, the shadow part. The shadow is like, you know, our fears. The shadow part is like unresolved trauma. I mean, that's in the simplest form. And the white is the consciousness, like being awake to who you truly are. Like you are divine love, you are compassion, you are wealth, you are abundance, you are prosperity, you are truth, you are health, you are all these magnificent, wonderful things. energy that is known as you. You are clarity. You are wisdom. And this card, the dark shadow is like, no, I'm unworthy. The light's like, no, you are always worthy. You will always be worthy. And no matter what you've been through, you will continue to be worthy. It's like, when will you accept your worth and your value? And that's a process, right? Like, I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't have issues like with their shadow or their light. You know, I mean, there's people that are awakened like on higher consciousness, but it's also an evolutionary growth process. And so the high priestess, basically, we can see the moon. Moon is water, emotions, intuition. So the high priestess is very intuitive. And also we have palm trees and pomegranates, which depict masculine and feminine energy. So she's balanced. She's just in a state of being. And if you look close on her lap, it says Torah. The Torah is the law of the universe, if you will, laws of the universe. And she's not she's not stressing out. She's just chilling right there, receiving all the wisdom, all the knowledge. She's in her power. She's confident. She's wise. She's powerful. She's not stressing a thing. She knows that she knows that she knows. However, I pulled the card this way. And what I got from this, like from the card being upside down, also the cross, if you look at the cross on the chest, this is mastery. This is stability, four corners of the earth, east, west, north, and south. And also, you can look at it as earth, wind, fire, and water, master of the elements. And 2 is duality, the number of duality. And so because I pulled it this way, what I got from this card is, you're looking still at this one, you know, all your dreams are going to come true. Knight of Wands, you have gone through the awakening process. You went into the temple. You mastered your consciousness, like you mastered your identity of who you are. And now you're ready to charge forward and achieve everything because it's just written in the stars. And so when this card came up, I was like, okay, what's this about? And this is about going deeper. This is about going deeper and trusting your intuition, because she's highly intuitive. I mean, she's the high priestess. And so in order to flip her over, because this is where we want you to be, you've got to be able to trust your knowing, to know that you know that you know, to trust your intuition, to trust your instincts. And it's a muscle, and it's not about seeking outside validation, because let's say you know something and you'll talk to somebody and they'll say, no, that's not it. But you don't know if they have their own issues, or they can't even see, they have their own filters. Like, people have filters that they view the world from. So what you see is not necessarily what they see, even though that may be happening. And so it's important to cultivate your personal intuition, your personal knowing, and keep it to yourself. Right now, as you're practicing your own intuition, your own discernment, your own inner knowing, what you are shown is to keep your own counsel. Because not everybody will be honest with you, like, especially if they're trying to hide something or defend. Like it's not like they are consciously doing it. It's like they have patterns of being defensive, like if you call them out on something. And I know for me, like, I'm really good at knowing patterns, meaning, like, if somebody's dealing with an issue and they tell me about it, like they tell me the story of what's going on, like psychology is my first love, like, and I'm not bragging, I'm just letting you know, like, I got the highest achievement in my department. Like, I beat every other student. And it's not so much because I'm arrogant, because this is what I love. I love to break that bondage over people. I love to see where they're stuck and what's holding them back from their best life. And I love to figure it out. And the whole thing is, many times when I've revealed things to people, like, because I see it very clearly, like, I mean, and also has to do with like my personal introspection. Like I've looked within myself to know the truth about myself. I've looked at my shadows, and I continue to look at my shadows. And I'm looking forward to where, like, my light is bigger than my shadow, like, by a long shot. And you too as well. Like, I hope that your light is so much bigger than your shadow, like, by a long shot, and that, the shadow is so tiny that, because you can see the deception, the illusion. And so when this card comes to inner knowing, trusting your inner knowing, your intuition. And at this time, I would really encourage you to not, like, if you suspect something, kind of just sit back. You don't need to put your 2 cents in, but just watch behavior. Actions speak louder than words. And just, if you have a hunch, just keep it to yourself and see how things unfold. And because in my life, I have been highly intuitive, and I have told people what their issues were to the T. And what I have found is that some people are open to hearing about, like, what you notice, especially if they're into personal growth. And if you're here, you're into that, right? Like, you're open into growing. But some people just want to talk about the problem. They don't want to resolve the issue, which is fine. I can listen, but that gets old pretty fast, because I'm into transformation. Like, that keeps me stagnant. If I was like complaining every single day about something, you would be tired too. You're like, okay, I don't want to hear that anymore. Like, do something about it. And so generally, like, because I've had to take so much personal responsibility to evolve and survive, and it just became a way of life and a way of being for me, has allowed me to see when someone's talking to me and they're struggling with something, I can figure out what it is. And the people that there's like the ego, you can trigger the ego. And so when you trigger the ego, it becomes defensive. So it's like you really have to be gentle with people. And that's why I'm saying, like, do not confront them. Like, I would say, keep your intuition unless they really want you to tell them what you know. And then you can. But again, like, this is kind of like, I would say, like, evolve. Like, I've done a lot of work with this. And so, like, I know who I can bring knowledge to and speak on a deep level with, to where they won't be triggered. Because once you trigger the ego, the defenses go up and they can't hear you anymore. So it's like, you're not going anywhere. The mind has shut down. And so sometimes keeping your intuition for yourself, like learning, like to trust, like practice, it's like a muscle. So it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you put the dots together, and then you can learn how to trust in yourself, in your own seeing, instead of like questioning whether what you're seeing is true or not. It's one thing to compare your knowledge with someone else that's of equal stature. But generally, if it's like, I mean, maybe your friends are of equal stature, like in evolution, if you will. It's like you're gonna get confused, is what I'm saying, unless they validate. And I mean, I would say only when I'm doing my work, when I'm actually talking to people and we're doing this work and they're open to hearing what I have to say, because they know that I genuinely love and care about them. And so we've built this relationship. And even then it has been like, at first they're like, I don't think it's that. And then, generally I have to breathe and take my time with them, and then they finally get it. But I'm very sensitive, like when I open my heart like that to share, because the ego, what happens is the ego attacks. And so that's why I say, excuse me, I sneezed, I coughed, what is going on here today? But maybe that's all I have to say, is just be introspective. When you have self-doubt, don't doubt your intuition. Don't doubt your gut instincts. Trust your gut instincts. Trust your intuition. Trust your knowing. And then if you want to talk about it with someone who you trust, who will also give you an honest answer on that specific thing, then I would. But otherwise, like, keep your own counsel and strengthen your, really, like, your, I don't know if I want to say their gifts, because everybody has them, but your innate gifts, if you will. Trust your innate gifts and grow them, because they will make your life a lot smoother, easier, and they will lead you to your treasures, your manifestations, and they will not allow other people to distract you by their own agendas or their own shadow. And so I think I've like talked enough today, and I hope this message was clear, and I know I talked a lot. So I think that's all I have for today. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you're at in the world. And this video is good even after this day. This is timeless information. I want to set that intention. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.